Hey everyone, welcome back along to the channel. Today I am finally back out. I've had a couple of weeks off. I think life kind of got a bit stressful and a bit manic, and I just needed a bit of time away from developing film, editing photos, putting videos together and stuff. That all takes up a lot of free time, so I've had a couple of weeks away from that, so I'm now feeling better and back out. So today I'm out in a local park. I've got my 0.45 and a Fomapan 100 film. I did come out here first thing this morning, but unfortunately it was really overcast and dark, and the exposure times were hitting about 30 minutes, so I didn't bother. So I've come out now in the afternoon. Unfortunately though, it's really busy. So I'm trying to find the quieter areas of the park to see if I can get some photos. I'll try a few in a few other areas and just see how it is at the minute. But it'll mostly be trees and stuff today, and we'll see what we can find really. So we'll have a little wander and we'll see what we can get. So the first spot I came across was this bench, which was situated in a slightly quieter part of the park in a little gardened area. Benches always make quite nice pinhole photos, and I thought, being in this area surrounded by the trees and stuff, it was quite a nice peaceful place to be. So I thought this would be quite a nice photo for the first one. So I set my 0.45 up onto my tripod. I settled on just the single layer, which is the 25mm, which is the super wide view, which can work really well for some images. For the composition on this, I wanted to kind of capture a view from the corner of the bench, and I'd taken a light meter reading, which was 45 seconds. Adding the reciprocity failure into this, I had a 10-minute exposure. So when you have a long exposure like this, it's nice to try and capture the time that is being recorded on that exposure. While that photo is exposing, so much stuff is happening around, and it's nice to capture the movement of what's going on. There's people going by. It's a moment of time captured in on a single photo. So I wanted an image of reflection. So for the first 5 minutes of the photo, I decided to sit on the bench and enjoy the peace and quiet. And then for the final 5-6 minutes or so, I moved away and let the camera capture the emptiness of the bench for this image of time and reflection throughout this exposure. So after finding a few spots in the wood, but realising it was too dark and overcast to get any decent exposures, I found this tree kind of in this little opening and decided it was probably the best chance of getting anything in this area. I switched my camera over to portrait mode. I kind of wanted to try and get a shot going straight up the tree, and I found this little plant coming just out of the base of the tree, and the idea for the shot was to kind of get that texture of the bark coming up one side and this little tree hanging over in front of the pinhole camera looking straight up. Once I was happy with the composition I had for this shot, I removed the dark slide and repositioned the camera in place. For this I had an exposure time around 2 minutes 20 seconds for the shot. Finishing the exposure off, I do feel I probably should have used a longer focal length for this. Maybe the 50mm might have been a little bit better, but overall I'm actually pretty pleased with the photo that we got. Heading out into more of an open part of the park, I found this tree with this massive branch stretching straight out to just a few feet off the floor, quite a way away. I thought this would actually make a really nice photo to try and capture something from this angle, following the branch all the way back down the trunk of the tree. I actually spent quite a while trying to figure out a composition for this. I was switching between focal lengths, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted for it, but this was kind of the view I wanted. I do this with my GoPro to kind of get a look as to what it might look like. But looking back on this now, I kind of wish I'd gone for the 25mm shot, something a bit super wide. But I'd managed to set it all up. I had another 2-minute 20-second exposure for this, so I removed the dark slide and let it go. Heading back through the park, I came across this wonderful old tree which I photographed before. I decided not to today as I had another shot in mind, but it's just a wonderful old tree that sits in this park. So this is coming up to one of my favourite spots in this park, and one I've photographed many times before. Quite a few years back I got this photo here on a really wonderful misty morning. Still one of my favourite photos. I've not seen many mornings like this down here, but it really was a special morning. But today I was heading a bit further down to this other tree. Again, it's one I photographed before and last time I was here with my pinhole camera. But I just wanted to try a slightly different composition today with this shot. Now the exposure times for here had now got to about 14 minutes long with the wide angle, which is normally shorter on exposure times. Now this shot was going to be a little bit risky because the outer part of the scenes were much darker and the centre was really light. Now for the pinhole camera, especially really wide, you always get a bit of a heavy vignette, so the edges are always a lot darker. So with this I was kind of partly expecting maybe almost like a real hot spot in the middle, an overexposed spot, but with the overcast and the soft light, sometimes it can help balance it back out a little bit. So I opted for the longer exposure to capture all the shadow detail around the image, and kind of just hoped that the centre of the image would kind of remain with a bit of detail, and thankfully it did. So that is everyone, I'm done. Hopefully there's 4 photos there. Unfortunately the light's just dropped way too much now, so I'm going to call it a day. Hopefully they've all come out fine, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll leave some links in the description below for you guys to check out if you want, and I'll hopefully see you next time I'm out pretty soon. See you later, and thanks for watching.